Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I know how to voice radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at some really stupid, crazy, hyper, over-the-top, expensive Pokemon supporter cards that you probably don't have. I know. But wouldn't it be cool if you did? And we might as well start off with the big one here. I would say the big boy, but it's very much not a boy, it's very much a girl. It's Lillie, and this is the one. We'll put it this way, it's going to set you back a little bit. If you want to be buying this one, you're going to be paying 750,000 yen. That is 750,000 yen. Which is obviously a fairly ridiculous amount of money. I think it's fair to say. Tell you what though, it's kind of a cool card. Now, 750,000 yen comes in at $6,522 or £4,857. It is an absurd amount of money for a card. So then the question becomes, well, hang on a second, why is this card so very valuable? Where did it come from? And the answer essentially is, it was a promo card that was given out at certain tournaments over in Japan. Now, essentially what happened was that you would head on down to what were essentially pre-release promos or pre-release tournaments to celebrate the release of a set, playing a limited format, etc. And these came around a while ago to celebrate the release of Tag All-Stars. And if you went and won one of those events, you would go and get yourself a promo pack that had one of 3 promo cards in: an Ace Roller, a Guzma, and a Lillie. But you would only get one of the 3, so you wouldn't get all of them, you would only get one of the 3 in that pack. So you had a 1 in 3 chance of getting a Lillie. Now, the problem is, and this was shown over on PokeGuardian.com as a nice example, it's really easy to see through them. Like, if you've got a phone or any other kind of torch, you can look through pretty easily and discover, oh, wait, so yeah, it's a Lillie or it's not a Lillie. So this was a little bit awkward because if you just got one of these randomly or you tried buying one online, etc., you weren't getting the Lillie. You just weren't, unless somebody really didn't know what they were doing, but they probably weren't selling these if they knew what they were doing. So yes, this Lillie is hyper popular, but also it was really hard to get because you had to go firstly and win one of these tournaments and also win one at a nice shop because, well, let's just say some stores could have made sure nobody won the Lillie. Now, it is interesting to note that PokeGuardian did run a story back in October 2019, just over 2 years ago, that this Lillie had sold for $1,400, and that seemed very expensive at the time. Believe me, ladies and gentlemen, if you can find anywhere that will sell you this Lillie today for $1,400, jump. Jump on it as fast as you possibly can. Because $1,400 today is an absolutely absurd price. Interesting to note, this particular artwork of Lillie has never been released in English. This is a Japanese exclusive card for the time being. Now, of course, that does raise questions about the other cards, because I told you obviously that Lillie was the one that everybody wanted, but I also told you that Guzma and Ace Roller were also ones that could be got at this tournament. Well, if you ended up with Ace Roller instead of Lillie, I've got good news for you. That card is currently going for 400,000. And sorry, I've not made this clear yet, so let me say it now. This is a shop that is buying these cards. They are paying you this much money. They're going to sell it on as a profit. So when I tell you that Ace Roller is a 400,000 yen card, I mean if you've got one and really want to sell it today with no hassle in the easiest way possible, you can wander over to Kadarashi over in Japan, and they will give that to you today, no questions asked, as long as it's, a real card. Okay, they will probably ask some questions, all right? But my point is you can sell it to them pretty easily. If you were to sell it yourself on the secondary market, now 400,000 yen equates to $3,478, or it equates to £2,590. So if you did miss out on Lillie and get Ace Roller instead, you shouldn't feel too bad about yourself. That's okay. It will be alright. Of course, if you ended up with Guzma, maybe you do feel a little bit worse, because that one is coming in at a, compared to the others at least, embarrassing 70,000 yen. And don't get me wrong, we're still talking $609 or £453, but compared to the other two, I mean, this is not even close, ladies and gentlemen. This is not even on the same level. If you went and won one of those tournaments and your prize ended up being your Guzma, you shouldn't feel good about that, ladies and gentlemen. You should feel very, very upset indeed. But it's alright, because there are other cards which are pretty gosh darn expensive that you might have picked up instead. Now, the good news is we've got a pair of cards coming in at 300,000 yen each, and these were just available to buy, but they were not very easy to buy. So, essentially, to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Japan. 20th anniversary of Pokémon in Japan, they released the Team Rocket special case. And that had two promo cards in, which was an alternate art promo of Giovanni's scheme, full art looking all lovely, and a lovely full art Here Comes Team Rocket, which is actually been seen quite recently. That was one of the cards which was chosen to be reprinted in the Classic Collection over in Celebrations. So it's a card with which most of you will be familiar now because of that one. It's been printed a couple of times, but not for a long time. Well, the good news is we got a lovely full art version of that one coming in as well. Yay! But this was a product which was very, very hard to get hold of. Did also come with a deck box sleeves and coin. Now, initially, the case cost 12,000 yen, according to Bulbapedia, and they're pretty good at this. 12,000 yen, and again, I'm using today's conversion, so this is not a particularly good conversion, but it's around £75 and it's around $100. That is very rough. Again, we're talking 5 years ago. Pinch of salt. That's a very rough guide. But my point is, if you've got this case, which was 12,000 yen, and it included two cards that together can be sold easily for 600,000 yen, it's one of those situations where if you had a chance to get that case, you probably should have done. Although again, trying to actually find that case, even at the time when it first released, was absolutely ridiculous. It was a very, very, very difficult one to actually get hold of. So if you did miss out, you shouldn't feel too bad. Now, Lillie remains an overly popular character in the Pokemon TCG, and the version which for us came in Ultra Prism, for Japan came in GX Battle Boost, yeah, that's also a ridiculous card, despite just being a set card. It's 230,000 yen, despite the fact it just came in a set. And this is the most expensive. Of all the ones we're looking at today, this is the most expensive one that can just be picked up in a set. And 230,000 yen is extremely expensive. It's not quite on the level as we've seen from the others, but you're talking here, well, bang on $2,000, which is a little bit weird, and £1,489 for a card that can just be pulled from a booster pack of a set. That is weird, ladies and gentlemen. Genuinely a little bit weird. Generally, set cards don't get up to this level. It's very, very hard to find a card that actually came out in a set that came up to this level. Now, Japanese cards are really high-end, do sometimes tend to get up there, and this is Lillie, who is very popular and all of that, but this is still a little bit of an aberration, given the price of this, given that it was just in a set. And by a similar kind of nature, we've also got an Ace Roller here, which again, did just come out of a set. Now, it's the one that we saw in Burning Shadows. It was in the Facing a New Trial subset over in Japan. And this is just a regular set card. I mean, it's Ace Roller, who's a very popular character, don't get me wrong. But this is just a card from a regular set. And it comes in at 180,000 yen, which is clearly a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, 180,000 yen, if anybody's wondering, because, if we don't do the currency conversion, that's a little bit weird. You're talking somewhere in the region of, well, in dollars, 1,565, and in pounds, 1,166. Again, you're talking about cards just coming from sets. That's a little bit ridiculous. I should mention there was one other Lillie that came in Sun and Moon and was just released in regular Sun and Moon packs. In Japan, if anybody's wondering, it was in the Moon collection, because it's kind of fun. When we get Sun and Moon as a big set, Japan actually gets 2 mini sets, Sun and Moon, at the same time, which I very much appreciate. But that one comes in at $100,000. And $100,000 is nothing to be sniffed at, right? It's still a decent chunk of change. In US dollars, you're looking at 870, and in British pounds, you're looking at 648. But compared to the other Lillie we've been looking at, it actually comes in, well, it's kind of embarrassing, frankly. It is by far the least popular version of them. I think at this stage, we're basically talking artwork, right? Maybe there was some difference in terms of, the print run or something like that. But generally speaking here, we're talking about just the artwork. And the final card, the final full art supporter, which does need to be mentioned here, is Alola Friends. Now, this is another promo card. This one wasn't in a set. And Alola Friends was in the limited collection Master Battle set, which could be bought from Pokemon centers, including online, according to Bulbapedia, back in August 2019. And it was just in there. It cost 13,200 yen. So the fact that this single card is now selling for 120,000 yen means this is another one that if you could have picked it up, you really should have. And it came with a whole bunch of stuff: playmat, sleeves, deck box, dice, another promo card, a pen for some reason, because I don't know why. And it was kind of cool. And it's one of those, everyone that picked it up at the time was all like, yeah, and if you didn't pick it up at the time, you probably should have. Interesting to note that this is another card which never got an English language release. It was a promo card over in Japan that, for whatever reason, they never actually thought to translate and reprint and bring over here. Although it is worth noting that Gala Friends is in VMAX Climax, because that was in a regular set, it is almost certain we will get it at some point, which is quite nice. And we'll get the full art and yay and all of that. But yeah, fun times, ladies and gentlemen. Fun times. So there we go. Those are some ridiculously expensive supporter cards. If you've got them, brilliant. If you don't have them, you're going to need to break the bank a little bit to get them. Shout out to the lovely Poketage, who is a big collector of full art supporters, for helping me out finding this information. That dude is awesome. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know which of these is your favourite. I want to know if you've actually managed to get hold of any of these. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.